It's a cloudy Monday morning. Welcome to Midday Live, coming to you from our studio here at Adisawe in Accra. I am Martin Asiedudate. Coming up for the next 1 hour, we'll be giving you an update of what's been happening, especially as President Akufo-Addo has urged Afrexim Bank to play a critical role in Africa's economic recovery. Also in the bulletin, former Agric Minister Dr. Afriye Akoto and former Energy Minister Boakye Ejako Doctor become latest aspirants to file nomination forms for the New Patriotic Party flag bearer slot. We'll be giving you live update in a jiffy. Later in business, as government moves to reduce energy sector debt, an analyst is calling for diversification of Ghana's power generation portfolio. And on the international front, Ugandan authorities arrest 3 people in connection with the attack on a school on Friday, in which about 40 people were killed. We have details of all these stories and more. Let's settle for them now. My name is Martin Asiedudate. We are live around the world on 3news.com. And on DSTV, this is channel 279. Now, the National Youth Authority is urging government to, as a matter of urgency, reduce taxes on sanitary pads for girls of school-going age to encourage them to seek proper education. Data from the District Health Information Management System indicates that about 1,000 youth below 18 years get pregnant every year. Speaking to young parliamentarians in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the NYA urged the government to consider these taxes.
For the first time in a series of strategic meetings with various institutions, the National Youth Authority, with support from the UNFPA, is on a drive given the youth bulge evident in the large numbers of young people present in African states, including Ghana. Development practitioners and population experts have variously expounded on the need to adequately address issues affecting young people, including them in development processes and harnessing their potential for social advancement and economic growth. As part of these efforts, the National Youth Authority, the Young Parliamentarians of Ghana, and the United Nations Population Fund held a dialogue to address crucial issues faced by young people in Ghana, recognizing the challenges as well as presenting valuable recommendations. One of the key concerns raised during the dialogue was the need for a separate ministry exclusively focused on youth affairs.
If you hear our security experts, they are always concerned that the rate at which extremist activities are descending southwards, getting very close to the northern borders of this country, it is important that we pay particular attention to our youth who are likely to be recruited into some of these serious programs.
On the part of the Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Authority, urgent steps must be taken to alleviate hardships that the youthful population face.
Period poverty has become a major challenge, even for in-school young ladies, because during that critical time in the month, there are many students who feel shy to go to school. But it is a natural occurrence, it will happen. So we need to educate the young ladies, the young girls first and foremost. And number 2, we need to discuss the availability of the pad or the things that young ladies use to deal with menstruation. We are told that the costs are rather high, and so there are many interventions, including a possible reduction on taxation on sanitary pads and so on.
In other news this afternoon, activities of Boko Haram have led to the migration of some 2,000 people to Pusiga, Timpani and Garu in the Upper East region of Ghana. Food and shelter have become a serious issue as a result of the influx of these migrants. Indigents have had to share land and food with the affected individuals. Some of them spoke to the news team calling for assistance in what they describe as life-threatening, and you can see those on your screens now.
So they decided to say there's not any country which can save them apart from Ghana. So that's why they decided to say, oh, let's move to Ghana because we have some of our relatives there. And currently, as they are here, the severe thing or the serious thing that they are encountering right now is food and then a place to live. What the small girl is saying is that this Boko Haram people chase them away. She said they said they should leave the country, and finally they've seen that they are killing their fathers and then brothers. This small girl said, what is the most painful thing or what they need seriously is food.
All right, so let's stay on this subject, clearly a very challenging subject. Let's speak to the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Refugee Board, Tete Paddy. Mr. Paddy, very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Right, so my first question will be, and while at that, kindly unmute for me so we can hear you. My first question would be, has this come to the attention of the Ghana Refugee Authority as regards the influx of some 2,000 refugees to Ghana's neighboring communities?
Yes, we have received the reports. We have actually been to the field to do an assessment of the persons who are there who intend to seek asylum. So we are very much aware of their presence.
And what numbers are we looking at? What age range? Do we have more children, or is just a variety of people? But then what numbers are we looking at?
So there's an estimated 1,500, but as I said, it's an estimate, so it could be more or less. The makeup of the population is mostly women and children, and some men as well.
Mm. Do we know why they are here?
Yes, so they indicate that they are fleeing the security situation in the region. On migration, sorry, in Burkina.
Mm. In Burkina. Hello, Mr. Paddy, can you hear me?
Yes, in Burkina Faso.
So they are from Burkina into Ghana's territory. And when you got there, what were the initial things you think they'll need in terms of assistance, looking at the numbers that are turned up?
Well, so it's the usual who flee these sort of situations in large numbers. They require food, they require shelter, and other assistance, including health. So yeah, those are the basic needs that the indication is that they require.
So in the interim, are you able to help us understand what kind of assistance the Ghana Refugee Authority is giving them in terms of the food and shelter you mentioned? Because the residents there say that is a major concern for them as well.
Indeed, it puts a strain on the host community. And what we usually do is that when we extend assistance to asylum seekers, we include the host community who have shared their resources with them, who have accommodated them over the period. What we intend to do is to move them from their current location into a center where we are preparing to host them. So once we move them there, we will ensure that they have all the basic needs, working with UNHCR who are assisting with the operation of the site.
Right, and maybe my final question before you go, was the team able to assess them in terms of healthcare? How well are they? And what do we know regarding how healthy are they? Whether they are carrying any, medical concerns that as residents in Ghana who are welcoming them should be wary of?
As part of our registration procedure, we carry out a thorough screening for health, for security, for vulnerability. We're in the process of doing that in-depth assessment, and once we've completed that, we can provide information on the numbers and on what kinds of help that they need. But in populations like this, usually you would have people who are not very fit. You have pregnant women who require assistance. You have people who may not be as strong as you would expect, you'd expect them to be. But we work with UNHCR, we work with our health, the Ghana Health Service, who provide the health screening, and all other agencies who we collaborate with to ensure that asylum seekers are taken care of as best as we can. We are under obligation to do this as a state because we signed up to the UN Refugee Convention, and we, as a state, as a nation, we live up to that responsibility.
All right, Mr. Paddy, thank you so much for your time. Certainly a conversation will be coming back to you for. Thank you very much. That's Tete Paddy with the Ghana Refugee Authority. Let's go to the phone lines now. Fortunately, we've been joined by the Upper East Regional Minister himself, Stephen Yakubu. Mr. Yakubu, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all your listeners.
Right, and so I'm sure by now you are aware that almost 2,000 refugees have come, or asylum seekers have come into your region. What are the immediate steps you are taking as a minister to at least help them with accommodation and food, which is very vital, in such situations?
Thank you very much. Yes, in fact, there are more than these 2,000 you're talking about. And this didn't happen recently. It's been something that we've been battling with for a very long time. But Ghana Refugee Board, they have come in and they have set up, a camp for them. So far what they're doing is moving them from the various areas into this camp. But as we are moving them, more are coming. I'm sure these 2,000 we are talking about is the recent one that you're talking about around the Garu area. We currently also have some around the Korogungu area. All those areas are coming in. But I can tell you that, yes, we are inundated with these cases, but we are doing our best as a region. And government is also helping us, as I said, with Ghana Refugee Board. And we are coping so far.
You mentioned that this doesn't look like it's the first. It definitely doesn't look also like the last. They may still be coming in. In the interim, residents there are complaining that since they arrived, they've had to share their food with them. They've had to share their shelter with them. You are talking about the assistance you are getting from government through the Refugee Board. But have you been there yourself? And how quickly do we need to have these assistance on hand?
Yes, as I said, this has been happening for almost about maybe a year or so. And, the refugees that are coming in currently, what we are doing, we've met all the stakeholders, the chiefs, the opinion leaders in the area, and all that. And we are, as the Refugee Board, they have set up a camp for them. But also what we are doing to also keep them lively in the sense that it's raining now, so we're giving them plots of land for them to be able to cultivate anything that they want to eat. So this is what we are doing. We are trying very hard to make sure that they themselves are also finding food to eat themselves. And Ghana Refugee Board and other our development partners are coming in with assistance. And we are doing so far, as I said, we are doing very well.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yakubu. Definitely be engaging you further on how all of this pans out. Stephen Yakubu, Upper East Regional Minister, there on the line with us. Staying on the same subject, though, Dr. Charles Nyaba, who is the Executive Director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, has joined us in studio. Similar issues have come up as regards they and his, enclave of key farmers would have to produce extra, probably, to feed these numbers that are joining them there. Doc, thank you for joining us in studio.
Thank you.
I'm sure you've heard, or firsthand, you've collected enough information about what's happening there. Paint a picture for us. What's happening at the moment with this? Refugee Board says almost 2,000. The minister is saying over 2,000. What do you say?
So good afternoon, and let me say good afternoon to the listeners. I think I'll go by the figure of the regional minister. I think that the figure is even more than 3,000. You see, I started communicating with our people. Usually when it's getting to the cropping season, we try to take data about the size of their farm sizes, inputs that they need, and all of that. So in the process, it came out that most of them have to actually sell their farms with some of these immigrants. They are not just ordinary immigrants. When you go to the border towns in Pusiga, Timpani, and Garu, most of the farmers, they have their families across the border. So when this happened, all those people came in. You go to a household and you have one household receiving over 50 people. So they have to share their shelter with them, share the small food they have with them, share their lands with them, and it's becoming too much for us. Even as an association, we have to contribute some food items to give them. As we stand, the moment I leave here, I have to go down there to see what we can do. So the situation is actually something that we will call the government to pay serious attention. Any other body that is interested in helping these people, we welcome it.
And then that was actually going to be my next question. What kinds of assistance do you need beyond food and shelter? How else can people who are willing to help?
You know, most of these people are farmers. Apart from the immigrants, our own people there, it's also affecting them because they have to sell their lands with them. The small inputs that they have to sell with them. And it's also putting pressure on us as a national association to be able to mobilize enough inputs to support them to produce. And we are even looking for options where we'll be able to acquire land outside the areas for them to move there and farm. We do this because it has serious food security implications. If you look at the areas where these people are in, it is a place where we get greater quantities of foodstuffs like maize, sorghum, livestock, soybeans, and what have you. And it means that the same quantity you have to sell with someone else. So we think that is something that we all need to be interested in. So anybody who is interested to actually come in, we shouldn't just look at providing them with the immediate food to eat or with the shelter to sleep in. It should go beyond that.
For the long term.
What livelihood activities can we engage them in? And that's what we are looking at.
And then again, you've made that point. We heard the regional minister also make it that this is not the first time. It's been on for some time. Within the last, say, 6 months and over, have there been any specific strategies in place since this is a recurring event so that when they do come in, we quickly either engage them or put them, in some kind of employment so that we can get something from them?
So far, to the best of my knowledge, in our own small capacity, we've not been able to put a medium-term strategy in place. But we are working as an association, just like I said, to see how best we'll be able to support them with inputs, to be able to get additional land outside the area, because the land there is not enough for them. Right. They are both farmers, those coming in and the residents here. Right. So the best strategy in going forward is to get additional land for them to move in and start doing their farming activities. Interacting with majority of them, even though they left almost all their properties there, because the men, some of them were killed, and then others were chased, so they have to leave their livestock and everything and come here. And they are not even interested in going back because of what they went through. Right. So the only option we have is to help them to settle and then help them to continue to do what they were doing there.
Okay. Final question to you. You talk about how this could be a threat to food security. Definitely the people there are already sharing. Yeah. Do we have enough, and for how long would that enough we have now last? And if not, how quickly would you need some kind of assistance in terms of food coming in?
I have to be very sincere with you. We don't have enough.
We don't have enough?
I interact with our own members there, and the situation is getting worse. Okay? This season has just started. They are preparing to plant. They are plowing. We are mobilizing inputs for them. And now we have to, if we're mobilizing for 100 people, we are thinking of mobilizing for 150 people. Okay? And the lands within those jurisdictions too is not enough. So it means we need to scale up to other areas. So to me, it's an emergency situation that I think we need support as early as we can, if you actually want them. Because if this man goes, July go, that is all. they cannot produce again. Because in those areas, we do only one season cropping.
Right.
So this is the time for us to be able to mobilize enough inputs to support them to survive.
All right. We've been speaking with Dr. Charles Nyaba, who is the head of the Peasant Farmers Association. Clearly a major food challenge he talks about in the Upper East region, calling on all, especially the government and even philanthropists, to see how they can best help this issue. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you posted subsequently. Thank you very much, Doc, for your time.
Thank you.
Just to watching Midday Live on TV3, let's delve into politics now, because the former Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Afriye Osei Akoto, becomes the third NPP flag bearer hopeful to file his nomination at the party's headquarters in Accra. Two leading members, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and former Trade Minister Alan Kojo Trematin, have both submitted their nominations last week. As of now, at least 10 people have picked up nomination forms to run for the flag bearer race position. Former Energy Minister Dr. Boakye Ejako himself, we are told, has also thrown in his nomination or submitted his nomination form. So let's bring you this quick story, then we can interrogate the subject of the NPP flag bearer race.
To receive the forms, as I said, we're doing so on behalf of the committee. And at this point, where you not to hesitate to defer to the committee in the course of your arrangement. And this whole process is our new patriotic party. We wish you all at all times, in all your pronouncements, in all your endeavors, keep the party in mind and heart. So if you receive the money, none of that indicates that you've given a token, there's a receipt to that effect. We wish you all done.
This party belongs to all of us. And unity is strength. So we'll be very mindful of the caution that you just expressed. And I hope that the other contestants also abide by these expressions that you also made. So far, we, people who are leading our campaign, understand that you cannot break the 80 with half an egg.
All right, so that's Dr. Akoto Osei Afriye, who is clearly, interested in leading the NPP into the 2024 elections. We mentioned that Dr. Boakye Ejako himself, former energy minister, was also there at the party headquarters. We'll let you see how exactly all of that played out. But let's engage the thoughts of a political science analyst, Dr. Asa Asante, on this subject. Doc, very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time as always.
Good afternoon.
So we know that now almost 4, getting to 5 people, leading people within the NPP have given clear indications that they are very serious about leading the party. How serious should we take them, considering the fact that it is obvious that it's only 2 people who are the front runners when it comes to the flag bearer position?
And good afternoon to your viewers once again. I think that nobody can pass that judgment that it's just a 2-horse race. That is a difficult one to take, in the sense that those who are gunning for the position, some are, huge personalities within the party. For instance, you are talking about Boakye Ejako. He's not somebody you can discount at all. You are talking about Dr. Akoto. He's not somebody you can discount. I'm not sure the same way you can discount, Kumpreku, or the likes of Kwabena Ejapong and then Kennedy Ejapong and all that. These are giants in the MPP. So for now, let's leave the two-horse race issue and look at the strength of these people who have shown up. I'll begin by looking at Dr. Baumia. There is no doubt that he's a material worth considering. He's a great economist. He has what it takes to lead this country. We have seen him as a vice president. We have seen him as an economist in Bank of Ghana and the rest of them. But there are questions that await him. And the question is, as a chairman of the economic management team, what has happened to economy to the extent that IMF that we said we will not go, we are there? What has happened to the economy that we are where we are? These are million-dollar questions that await my vice president. And he is the one who can deal with that. But apart from that, he is a great material worth considering for exercise of this nature. The same thing can be said about Boakye Jaku. Impeccable, record, great scholar in the area of economics, a man with experience, worked with the Bank of New York and all that. He came to Ghana, demonstrated knowledge and competence and professional experience and all that. Boakye Jaku is one of the giants that the party cannot throw away, but want to consider for this election. So Boakye Jaku is another candidate worth considering. And so is Alan Jamatin, a distinguished public officer who has worked over the years as a very honest and sincere person for his party and country. Up to date, we have people are leveling corruption charges against people left and right. The man has, his name has not come up in this area. He has been very innovative in his in work, and then it speaks volume for who he is in terms of his contribution towards the development of this country. But there are questions also that are waiting, that the issue of trade, which is an important component of this economy, why is it that we are where we are? He has questions to answer, similar questions like the vice president and all that. Dr. Koto, a great scholar, and then a champion of Danko Buzia tradition. He has been great, offered great service to the country and all that. As a minister, we've seen his performance and all that. And these are things that voters are going to consider. So when you look at the four that have shown up, I can say without fear of contradiction that they are all materials worth considering for the post. All right,
Doc, the next few months are very pregnant with similar issues, and we'll be engaging your thoughts, in the next coming days. But thank you for now. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Kwame Asasante, political science analyst, joining us there to, interrogate what's happening in the camp of the NPP as regards the flag bearer race as it is building up. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan has been at the party headquarters, and he's the one who actually gave us that update about the two gentlemen who filed their nomination. So we'll definitely be engaging, or let's look forward to what he'll be bringing from the party headquarters. You're still watching the Midday Live on TV3 and on your screens. That's Boakye Jaku, former energy minister, who also filed his nomination today to run to lead the NPP going into 2024. We'll be swinging from the camp of the NPP this time around. Let's go to the main opposition, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, because the NDC parliamentary candidate for the Asin North by-election, James Jechikwesin, says he is not scared by the decision of the High Court to hear his criminal case on a daily basis. According to him, the schedule of the hearing is only a ploy to intimidate him ahead of the by-election and an attack to make him unpopular. James Jechikwesin has been charged with deceit of a public officer, forgery of a passport, knowingly making a false statutory declaration, perjury, and false declaration. Let's interrogate this subject and see what really we have in terms of new news when this is concerned. Komla Kluche joins us in studio. He is parliamentary correspondent as well. Komla, so what exactly is Mr. Jechikwesin's beef? The court says these are the days or this is the time we want you to come. Why is he having an issue with the court's decision?
Well, I mean, if you look back, I mean, just the weekend has been a very busy one for both the MPP and the NDC. The NDC one has been a bit up because of the presence of John Dramani Mahama in the constituency. He spent 2 days in the constituency going to the nooks and cranny. But Kwesi has been speaking. Of course, we heard on Thursday or Friday or so thereabout that the court has indicated that his case will be heard on daily basis. Of course, that's a big blow to him because he needs to be shuffling between the constituency and then the High Court to be hearing the case that has been brought against him. But what has he been saying? Quincy says that the trial is an intimidation tactic by the government, that if they even want him to sleep in the court, they should give him a bed so that if they intend to hold the trial on an hourly basis, of course, he is ready to do that. He will sleep in the court. But he is giving the firm assurance that irrespective of whatsoever there is that the court intends to do, quote unquote, being used by the state against him, he feels that the people of Asin North would defy all of this and will go out to vote for him. And that it is the more reason the people of Asin North would vote massively for him. What has been the demeanor he's had? Kwesi has been a bit relaxed about all that is going on. And in fact, when you hear him speaking on the campaign trail, he tells the people that, look, forget about the court case. It should go on. It's not an issue to me. It's not a bother to me. When you sleep, in fact, these are his words. Semoda, Munde are all to it. I mean, if you're going to beg,
to worry about.
you absolutely, just like he himself. But John Mahama has equally been speaking, and that he's been saying that Asin North case is the test case of government stewardship, and that residents must vote to expose the government. He also says that the NDC sees the sacrifice of James Jachi Kwesi and that he will not go to jail. These are the words of John. John says that Kwesi will not go to jail.
That's quite profound coming from
absolutely. That Kwesi's sacrifice will not be in vain, and he may just become a minister under his administration if he comes to office. But I mean, this is just on the NDC side, but the MPP equally have been doing a campaign there, and the constituency was visited by the Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Martins, Kennedy Ajapong. And Kennedy Ajapong's own is interesting because Asin North used to be part of his constituency, then Asin Central, but he was carved out of this in the 2012. And I mean, like we know, the Asin North as it is now is predominantly a settler community, and he was not really making much votes from that side. But he's been to that constituency. He, together with the Honorable Afenyo-Martins and then the national executives of the MPP. The campaign is just a simple one. See the projects that we are doing in the constituency. It's not because of by-election. Some were ongoing and halted, but I mean, now there's a by-election. Work must still go on. Within this week, we are aware that a lot of the projects would be commissioned by His Excellency the President.
Really?
Within this week, they'll be doing that. I know for sure the road will be open, even though drivers use it. So that's what is going on.
Yeah. I mean, clearly a lot has been happening in Asin North, and we know that election is this weekend, isn't it?
No, so it's on Tuesday on the 27th.
27th. So your election command center will definitely be updating you and keep you in the loop of any and everything that's happening in Asin North by election build-up. You're still watching Midday Live. Stay with us. We have many more stories for you after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo Superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Mbesalisu, madzo ya ola azanende otela koeshe rumendima.
Pansher nema osal nyela banzora.
Manyela ngoya nyosutu, chekanin trama, jimedi.
Wala kayiling. Mbesalisu talum la harmoni gamzo, kazan dolen zipe wallet.
Kadizo on chekanto pisha tempo Kadija, mpo Rashida, mpo Salamatu.
Dazo zipe wallet yo, kardate la pale dinya naklam bontama.
Kala chaka niroma kana tuwa kata na rumbo matwa. Zipe kanza yo na rumbo mazo.
Manguna ingi ila la arma palazo. Zan chatu yo yellow. Den kabzan ko table pala wata na ma.
Anto di talan lor silmintinga. Karche azipi tangal mi puni sahango kadi la nyore. Dempa gana shiri pia sahashel kam. Talam melare kade melare. Amobile money zo. Yom ana lambo onzo. Kazan de darpina. Ne den kam papa. Demista 270 hash. Anuche banzo. Kadi zipi la nyore. Zipi.
Ura musana eshi anoshi metwe anopa awia imle inkwa machekwa na timsolotwe.
The glue that sticks things together is now tearing lives apart.
No more shaming in our good. It's in a kutaro.
A big trouble in a small tube.
You are training over 12 years. Until I'm 19 years.
It's a story of how young men are wasting their lives away, addicted to sniffing glue.
The government is not paying attention anywhere because I don't see anywhere in Ghana that the youth are finding jobs to do. So it's a general bad governance issue.
For them, it is a cheaper alternative to hard drugs. Experts are worried about its life-threatening consequences.
I decided to track them down to this particular place.
Godwin Asediba in High on Glue visits some communities and reveals the canker robbing the lives of many Ghanaian youth. High on Glue airs on Wednesday, June 21 on TV3 at 9 p.m. and across our social media platforms.
The TV3 and 3FM Great Expedition is here again. It's much bigger and exciting this time. Experience the breathtaking view of the ever-scenic Kafajato and the spectacular Wuli waterfall. Let's uncover the excitement around these mystical and extraordinary sceneries. Happening on Republic Day, Saturday, 1st July 2023. Come, let's make memories on Republic Day with the Republic Day Reloaded. We head to Kafajato as we hike to the summit. We visit the Wuli waterfall. And then we have a dinner and party at the Bamboo River Resort. This package includes transportation, breakfast, snacks, dinner, music on rotation, plus the whole experience, all for 650 Ghana cedis. For reservation, call 0541 159 715 or 0554 049 778. The TV3 3FM Republic Day Expedition. You don't want to miss this.
Ghana's Most Beautiful never disappoints, and this year, the search for a new queen has begun. Join the audition train starting the 15th of June in Tamale at the Garba Lodge Hotel.
The train will be in Kumasi on the 17th of June at the Micklin Hotel.
Then the train passes through to Takrady on the 20th of June at the Rainbow Hotel.
Finally, it stops in Accra on the 23rd of June at the premises of TV3.
Come audition wearing your finest GTP skirt and a white tank top. Download the TV3 reality app or come to any of our audition venues to register.
Ghana's Most Beautiful, Ghana's Beauty, Africa's Pride.
GMB was brought to you by Napa Foods. Say Napa. Enye Ono Soko. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Heaven Dear Bakope.
Carnival Strawberry.
Gino Tomato Mix.
Flamingo Paint.
Top Choco.
Welcome back to Midday Live. Time now for business. Menu Afol is with us in studio. Hello, Menu.
Hi, Martin.
You look good and ready, you know.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Definitely. Welcome to the business segment with me, Menu Afo. Now, we'll start from the energy sector debt, as government has been urged to diversify its energy generation portfolio to manage increasing debts in the sector. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, in his latest update on the economy, indicated government's readiness to embark on some structural reforms in the energy sector to reduce the shortfall by almost 3 billion in 2 years. Energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleimana spoke to 3 Business, and here's what he had to say.
Why are we not able to achieve that? It's simply because we have not been deliberate, we have not been assertive, to tackle it the way we want it to be. And how can we do that? I think we have to be able to, diversify our generation portfolio by creating an enabling environment that will bring in a lot of private sector players, into the space, where probably we can have a lot of solar panels at rooftops. If this happens, like as it happens in other jurisdictions, we're going to have a lot of pressure being taken off from the grid. And if that happens, we're going to increase our power reliability. And if we have a bit of efficiency, then that could result into what we call affordable power, to the end user. The other aspect is to aggressively, increase the network of our gas penetration. I think we haven't done that. The East and then the West is still not so much networked. We have to start with increasing the capacity of Ghana Gas. I think that's a credible conduit, to having a foothold, a firm foot into our power generation stream.
In more stories, the Institute of Fiscal Studies has joined calls to scrap the adjustment of fuel levies in line with inflation or exchange rate changes. The move, which is part of the IMF's conditionalities, has been met with concerns from the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana and the Association of Oil Marketing Companies. Lead researcher at the IFS, Dr. Boache, expressed concern that this could further worsen inflation in the country if the policy is implemented.
The government should not adopt the program suggestion to adjust fuel levies in line with inflation and exchange rate changes to raise more revenue. It should first be recognized that fuel price changes have powerful effects, both directly and indirectly, on inflation in Ghana. And as Ghanaians, and particularly as journalists, we are all aware of this. Therefore, adjusting fuel levies in line with inflation, which is bound to raise fuel prices also in line with inflation, will feed back into inflation, requiring further raise in the fuel levies, thereby creating a vicious cycle of higher and higher fuel prices, and thus worsening inflation and economic stability in Ghana. Similarly, since exchange rate depreciation usually causes fuel and other prices to rise, leading to inflation, adjusting fuel levies in line with currency depreciation would further raise fuel prices, generating more inflation. This will be too high a macroeconomic price to pay in a bid to increase revenue.
Away from that, a government committee is expected to start work by the end of the month on reforming and structuring state-owned enterprises. About 25% of Ghana's assessed debt burden emanates from non-central government operations, mainly from SOEs such as Cocoa Board and those in the energy sector. There's more in the following report.
The IMF in its staff report highlighted the inefficiencies in some SOEs and called for reforms as a conditionality. In view of this, government is putting in place some reforms to improve efficiency and sustainability.
SOEs is a very vexing issue. It's very difficult because if you look at the analysis, anytime we have a joint venture, Ghana versus Nestle or whatever, you can see profitability, same Ghanaians managing. So the question becomes, what kind of attitude is it that these intelligent CEOs somehow cannot, focus on making money and profits for the country? And that the governance issues needs to be assessed. Right now that we've moved from central government financing, which was really just the Ministry of Finance and my MMDAs to general finance and accounting, I need to look at those things with a lot more rigor.
Following concerns of the IMF over Cocoa Board's quasi-fiscal operations that are imposing direct fiscal costs to the central government, the finance minister said a strategy is being put together to review cocoa pricing and improve sustainability.
Cocoa Board is a difficult issue. I think there's going to be joint supervision of the board between us and Ministry of Agriculture, phasing out of cocoa roads in a sense. In terms of re-examining the pricing so that when the international price, basically tanks, we are still able to support it.
And that's how we wrap up the business segment here on Midday Live. My name is Menu Afo. We have more stories from the world of sports. Stay with us.
All right, so time now for sports, as Menu said, and joining us in studio, Reku Ampa. Hello, Reku.
Hi, Martin.
So the Black Stars know what's up?
Well, it's qualification delayed.
It's just been delayed.
Yeah, destiny is still in their own hands. Unlike other times where you have to hope other results go your way, this time is in your hands. Even if you draw against Central Africa, it should be enough to see the team qualify.
You give us post-match details.
And so we're starting off with the post-match of the Black Stars, as head coach Chris Hughton has expressed major disappointment over his team's goalless draw against Madagascar. The four-time AFCON champions played poorly away in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier for Group E in the penultimate round of qualifiers. A win would have seen Ghana clinch a place in the upcoming edition of the Continental Championship.
Yes, we're very disappointed. We came here with an attitude and a mindset to win. But, to win a football match, any football match, you need to score goals. And we found it difficult today. The pitch is difficult. It's a very uneven pitch, but it's the same for both teams. And we needed to be more forceful in areas to create more opportunities to score. So the fact that we didn't score is the most disappointing thing.
Also, there was disappointment in Ghana was all excitement for Dreams FC, who clinched their first major title after defeating Kumasi-based Ken Faisal by 2-0 at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in Abrankese to lift the 2022-2023 edition of the MTN FA Cup. The Still Believe boys, who saw a resilient Sky FC in the semi-finals, kept their composure and calmly handled the Inshallah boys in the final lap. This victory, which is the first of its kind for the Dewu-based club, will see them represent Ghana at the next season's CAF Confederations Cup. Now, Dreams FC's quest will be to qualify for the group stages of the Confederations Cup for the first time when the preliminary stages commence next season. The team will receive 80,000 Ghana cedis for winning the domestic trophy and an additional 100,000 Ghana cedis to support their campaign in Africa. All we're doing is some more stories because former Netherlands striker Quincy Promes has been sentenced to 18 months in jail for stabbing his cousin in the knee. The incident took place at a family party in July 2020, and the Spartak Moscow forward was found guilty of assault by a Dutch court. His lawyer says he will appeal, according to Dutch broadcaster RTL. Promes, who has also played for Sevilla and Ajax, lives in Russia and did not attend the court hearing. The 31-year-old was also charged by the Dutch prosecutors last month for his alleged involvement in drug trafficking. To some transfer stories now, and Chelsea goalkeeper Edouard Mendy has reportedly agreed personal terms to move closer to a permanent transfer to the Saudi Pro League. The Senegalese showstopper has fallen out of favour at Stamford Bridge in recent times and seems like a decent option for the Blues to be able to cash in on this summer so they can trim down their squad and then the wage bill as well. Elsewhere, Brendan Rodgers returns as Celtic manager a little more than 4 years after leaving for Leicester City. Rodgers won consecutive trebles during his first spell at Celtic, including an unbeaten debut campaign. Also, Real Madrid have completed the signing of Spain international Joselu, who was part of the team that lifted the Nations League trophy yesterday as Spain beat Croatia in the final. That's how we'll be wrapping up the sports segment here on Midday Live. My name is Ore Kwampafo. Up next is Entertainment with Noella.
Ghana coming out again, the same squad. For the ball, he's got it! Throw it down, King!
Sports Station, Mondays, 9 p.m. on TV3.
Sports Station is brought to you by Betway, Nesta Mouthwash,
Flamingo Paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
The TV3 and 3FM Great Expedition is here again. It's much bigger and exciting this time. Experience the breathtaking view of the ever-scenic Kafajato and the spectacular Wuli waterfall. Let's uncover the excitement around these mystical and extraordinary sceneries. Happening on Republic Day, Saturday, 1st July 2023. Come, let's make memories on Republic Day with the Republic Day Reloaded. We head to Kafajato as we hike to the summit. We visit the Wuli waterfall. And then we have a dinner and party at the Bamboo River Resort. This package includes transportation, breakfast, snacks, dinner, music on rotation, plus the whole experience, all for 650 Ghana cedis. For reservation, call 0541 159 715 or 0554 049 778. The TV3 3FM Republic Day Expedition. You don't want to miss this. Get ready to splash this summer at the hottest event of the season. It's the Date Rush Pool Party, coming to you live on Saturday, 8th July at the breathtaking Pleasant Gardens Jolu. Get ready to groove to the infectious beats of the sensational Dope Nation, the energetic prince of the street, LaRusso, the fast-rising TV3 Mentor X winner, DSL, who will be setting the stage on fire, along with the baddest DJs, DJ Faculty, DJ Yabiam, DJ Phil, and more. So put on your trendiest swimwear, grab your friends, and dive into an epic celebration of summer. Remember, it's Saturday, 8th July at the stunning Pleasant Gardens Jolu. Doors open at 3 p.m. Don't miss out on this unforgettable experience. Tickets are going for a cool 50 Ghana cedis. For tickets, dial *713*33*25#. To purchase or make a reservation, call 0244 405027. Date Rush Pool Party, the summer event you don't want to miss.
Welcome back to Midday Live. Time now for entertainment and TikTok. We have in studio Noella. Hello, Noella.
Hi, Martin.
All right, so do let us know what's happening.
Okay, so now let's get into some entertainment news updates here on Midday Live. My name is Noella Donko. Now, award-winning Guinean actress and movie producer Yvonne Nelson has received huge plaudits from stakeholders within the arts and entertainment industry for her versatility and resilience. Now, the actress marks another milestone in her career with the release of book titled I Am Not Yvonne Nelson last night. Top industry personalities, including actors and actresses, musicians, media and political personalities were at the Pediasi Valley Resort to support Ghanaian actress Yvonne Nelson as she officially launched her book. I Am Not Yvonne Nelson sheds light on the life journey and personal experiences of the celebrated actress. Yvonne, who described the turnout as an emotional one, urged all readers to grab a copy of her captivating masterpiece to properly understand her life and experiences.
I'm thankful, but I'm emotional that my friends, the industry, the fans came out to support my book launch, and it's a very emotional moment for me. So the message is in the book. If you're eager and you're anxious and you've been hearing people talk about the book, I am not going to tell you what's inside. Just grab a copy. If you don't want a hard copy as well, you can go online and check Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble, Apple Books, or Kobo. You can get the book online as well.
Celebrated movie producer Ivan Kwashiga, rapper Medical, and actor Ejinate, among other personalities, commended Yvonne for the good work.
Young people are going to see her in this true form, and that will make a big difference on their lives, that it is not all about the glitz and glamour, but it is more about the human side of the person. And that is what I am very happy and celebrating today.
Yo, shout out to Yvonne Nelson. I want to really commend her for what she did. She's an amazing person, and for her to actually put her whole life in a book, for us to understand the journey and know what she went through, what she's going through, how life is painted in her picture, it's a blessing. I think you get inspired, I'll get inspired. Everybody should go cop that book and get inspired. Forget everybody.
Huge congratulations going out to Yvonne. Now on to some more stories. A mixture of reconciliation, aggression and excitement filled the atmosphere last night at the Date Rush reunion. Now the 9th season of Date Rush was crowned last night with a reunion after weeks of entertainment on the show. If you missed the reunion, here are some highlights.
We've never met, and I don't think we will meet.
Hey!
It's not going to work, but we are friends, that's all.
What happened? What changed?
Yeah. It's not going to work.
Why do you think it's the problem or you are the problem?
Say it to you, say it. Say it to you, say it. I'm gonna make you not do me the long thing. Say it to you, say it.
I don't want to use this platform to fake.
Yeah.
That's why I want to take my time to know her. So if she feels she can't do anything with me, I don't have any problem.
I have a son. He's
all no, your son is not a problem.
He's
to me.
all
I told you I'm cool. It's not wrong to have a child 2, 3, 4. No, if I like you, I like you. So I can't use this platform because my baby share with Date Rush. So you are my girlfriend. You will hear stories today. The people who started saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. You will hear stories. It's not about I love you. It's about how things are going between. I call you more than she does. She will lie, but I call her more than she does.
I'm 2 weeks pregnant.
You are 2 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
For
Alejandro.
Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day.
And indeed, we did hear stories last night, but that's how we wrap up on the entertainment news segment here on Midday Live. My name is Noella Donko. I'll be handing over to Martin now.
All right, thank you very much. The part that caught me was when the guy was sweating because 2 weeks pregnancy, not easy. But anyway, all right, let's find out what's happening on the international front on Midday Live.
The Ugandan authorities say they have arrested 3 people in connection with an attack on a school on Friday, in which about 40 people were killed. Most of the victims were students at the Lubiria school in the western town of Mpondi. Many were burnt to death in their dormitory. District Commissioner Joe Walusimbi said the arrest followed tip-offs from local residents. But he added that the Ugandan army was still hunting for the Islamist militants who have been blamed for the attack and reportedly fled into the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Getting to an end. Thank you very much for watching. Our website 3news.com has many more stories for you. You have a good afternoon, and as always, stay positive. I am Martin Asiedu Dati.